And welcome. I can see. Look at Waff's face right now. He can't handle this. Welcome to the Marble Sports. Nope, not your turn to come in yet, Waff. I'm not finished. Welcome to the Marble Sports Worldwide podcast. I sound like a dolphin. My name is Brendan.
And I'm Commander Wolf. Hi. I was both distracted by that, but also if I just try to get this stream up. Dude. You're something else, Brendan.
I know how to just close down your mind. Look at what Pesky put in the live chat.
Yes, you sound like a siren.
Siren.
Yes.
Man, I just know how to lock your brain up. It's like you're a mouse in one of those mazes, you know? You just get locked up in there when I start. I'm the maze and you're the mouse. Anyway, I don't know what else to say about it. Marble Sports Worldwide podcast. I've also been getting into these. If you see on the live camera feed, I have these glass bottles of Coke that you can buy, and I got these bulk at Costco. A bunch of these. They sell them in the glass bottles at Costco for 20 of them at a go. And I started getting into them because they taste a little bit different from the regular Coke. They have the real sugar and just a different vibe in the glass bottle. So I've been addicted to these. I've been getting into these. I've already loved regular Coke. And so actually getting a bunch of these glass bottle ones and just going nuts. They taste so good, so good. So recommend those. I also had my best ever achievement in gaming literally yesterday. Yesterday. You guys know that I played Geometry Dash, that I'm a streamer for that, and I go on with that a lot. I don't know how many of you have actually even checked out my other channel for that. It's called Marble Guy. Actually does... I haven't made a lot of videos lately. I'm going to get back into that, but I do a lot of streaming on Twitch. I have a decent amount of followers and viewers and whatnot. I beat by far the hardest level I ever beat in the game yesterday, called Hyperparacosm, which means nothing to everybody who just heard that, but it's incredibly hard. It's going to be on my YouTube channel. It's on my Twitch channel in the Twitch highlights section. And my reaction was insane. My voice went up 3 octaves. It literally sounded like that siren, but for 20 minutes. The siren Brendan from the intro. It was so hard to do that. It took over 100,000 attempts. It was so hard. And it was definitely, I can't believe I actually did it. That's so hard. Back only a few years ago, probably about 4 or 5 years ago, in this game, in the community, levels that hard were considered impossible, or the hardest one ever in the game. I mean, they're not like that anymore, but because I think that was the 70th hardest level currently in the game. But to be able to beat something that I physically did think was not possible to ever do a long time ago, it's kind of crazy. So very happy about it.
That's pretty awesome.
And I freaked out in the moment. It was great.
That's really cool.
But
for me, there's a lot of announcements to make. So I'll start with the MSW ones first of all. First off, as to officially announce it, S-Man has returned to the team. They are manning the Twitter now. So
wait,
that's
is he
pretty
posting
cool.
On that? Sorry, I hit my mic.
Yeah, he's posted every time when the episode has gone up. So
is he posting?
The first comment was new owners, they knew there's something's up. They're actually posting. What's going on here?
Someone actually commented. I haven't even been checking. I gotta check that. That's funny. He should tell him to just start typing random things about the limers or something like that. No, tell him to just ping Term all the time. Just ping him and say things every day. Bother the crap out of him. That'd be great. I don't know.
I'll put the suggestion to him, and I'll let him decide what he wants to do.
Make him. I want him to run the Twitter and be as not toxic, but as annoying to Term as possible. Basically, I don't know. That's my idea. I need him to execute.
Explains how that's not gonna happen. But other news, on August 13th, Kaysen reached his 2-year anniversary as our video editor.
That's exciting.
Like
man.
that's
2 years.
just so great. Thank you, Kaysen, for all you do. This show would not exist.
Wait, dude,
We wouldn't be able to keep doing it without you.
It's been 2 years since JM quit?
Yep.
No way.
Yeah, let me see when do I have his resignation date?
Dude, what? That's impossible. It's been 2 full years?
Yeah, it's been 2 full years.
So JM quit in August of 2020?
Either he quit in, like, I can't, when did, I don't remember how quickly it took for Kaysen to
Like immediately.
take over.
We need an editor on
JM.
quitting. Basically.
That's an interesting question. I genuinely don't know the answer to that one. Let me pull up my chats with JM from the past.
Dude, I can't believe it's been like actually 2 years.
Yeah, honestly, thinking about it, like, it's kind of crazy.
That doesn't even seem right. Like that's like a long time. JM
It
feels like he's been around a little longer. I don't know. I guess not. Time really does fly, man. I mean, I guess that would have been still during the pandemic, like that summer. And that makes sense, I guess. Then we had whole virtual year college, and then this year, which has been great. Yeah, so I guess that makes sense.
August 12th is when they resigned. So yeah.
Man, that's crazy. Yeah, and we turned around and we were like, Kaysen, do this.
Well, yeah, Kaysen did join August 13th,
team.
the day after. Wow. He was on the ball with that one. Man. But you're remembering that. Thanks again, Kaysen. Like, you stepped in very quickly in our time of need, and we appreciate it greatly.
We appreciate Kaysen. Oh, I'm also wearing my RML El Sol shirt again today, so this is fun.
Oh, nice.
Thing.
But yeah, anyways, now actually, I guess, about me, which is normally what we do in an introduction, like what's been going on in my life.
Who cares
lots of
about
things.
your life? Wow.
Yeah, I know, you're right. Who cares about me? But no,
don't get so down on yourself.
there's like 2 big pieces of news. One is the Symphonica Preservation channel that I talked about a few times now. The anniversary uploads have started. We're on the 2nd video. 38 of the 41 videos are scheduled for upload. I'm still working on the last 2 because if you remember, like the last time, we talked about like how I was trying to get like the highest combo possible. I've been grinding away at it. Still haven't gotten it. I'm gotten good enough to where I missed only 1 note in the middle. So I'm on my way there.
The combo to get to see if it turns blue or something.
If it turns blue, if it actually exists. No, I'm pretty sure it doesn't exist, but I gotta know.
You have to know.
I have to know. And then the other thing, and this is pretty big for me, is like I just got cast for my first paid voice actor role, which is pretty exciting. It's for an audio drama like such podcast called Road X.
That's awesome.
You can find it on a bunch of podcasting platforms like Apple Podcasts, Spotify. So yeah, like I'm not in any of the episodes yet, but episode 2 came out like 2 days ago. Episode 3 might be coming out sometime soon. So it's a lot of people. It's actually been kind of successful. Like it's really kind of blowing up. So it's kind of crazy. Like this might be like my big break into the voice acting scene. That'd be super cool.
That'd be insane, Woff. I mean, like, and they giving you decent money or?
See, I think like on the casting call, it's like about 25. I think it's like $25 per project, which so they either mean 25 per episode or like 25 for each project. And like they're a small group. They're not like a big company or anything. So that's expected. And like it's my first paid role, so like I'm just more excited about getting my name out there.
Experience. Remember when I first worked with Rebecca, I was getting ripped off with how much I was doing and how much I was paid, but it got my name out there, and now I have 2 pretty solid commentary broadcasting jobs. Obviously not making a living with the money, but it's still it's money, and also I'm really out there, and now like people know me from the channel, so it's you have to get in somehow. So sometimes you got to put your time in, even when it seems underwhelming.
Yeah.
But so good. It's good to hear that you're getting out there, getting that experience, and then you never know when it went. Dude, if anyone had told me that I would be here working with the Races and Fun channel and RML, and it would all come to this point, and the podcast, I would have been like, what? And, so, like, you never know where things can go, I mean, and you, of all people, with the show and everything, should know that. So, I'm excited for you. I'm excited.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it's all because of this podcast got me into voice work. That's
crazy. I had an effect on WAF. My silliness affected someone else positively. That's kind of cool.
Indeed, it did. And it seems hundreds of people. Because other announcement. We have 600 subscribers now.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah.
There's a lot that happened in these past 2 weeks.
600 subs, crazy, and we got decent views in the last 2 videos. People are watching. People are still hanging in there on the whole marble sports thing. I think, this is so true. This is really true because this is not just true of us, but I think it's been true for the other podcasts. How this world does of podcasting about marble sports is going to be 100% or at least 90% dependent on how marble sports does. So, I mean, if JMR and Friends shoots up again in a popularity, then I'd expect to have more and more attention. But for now, I mean, like for a pretty quiet world of marble sports that we're in right now, I'm just happy we're doing how we're doing. I mean, we'll see how things go. We have to kind of wait it out. We have to kind of see, because I feel like it could take off in the future. We gotta be patient, but it's going to be directly affected by how the channels actually do. So, yeah.
Indeed.
Anyways,
yeah. I think it's time for the news, don't you think?
Yeah, I do. So let's do the news, and on the other side, we're going to talk to a special guest about a very special tournament. See you guys then.
Sports fans! I'm Commander Wolf, here with the Marble Sports Worldwide News. As we await the premiere of Marble League 2022, JMR has released a lot of news regarding the teams who will be joining us. For returning teams, we have the Blackjacks and the Purple Rockets. With how well received the Blackjacks' return was in Marble Maniacs, as well as Purple Rockets' performance in that same competition, it's no surprise that we're seeing them here. What is surprising, however, is that we have a brand new team, the Wolfpack. It'll be interesting to see how this team performs against the veterans. And most surprising of all, we have the return of Team Plasma. It's been 4 years since we last saw them, and they are back to compete again. It'll be quite exciting to see if they've improved since the last time we saw them, and who knows, perhaps they could be in contention for the title. On a sadder note, we have some shocking news from the Hazers. After their poor performance in Marbula 1, Hazy will not be participating in Marble League 2022. They have taken a sabbatical, and the new captain of the team will be Misty. With an open position in the team, Murky is now joining them as the reserve. This is quite the controversial decision, as many fans believe that their performance in Marbula 1 doesn't translate to their skills as a Marble League competitor. And with this unknown member joining them, it's unclear how well they'll do, and this could have a very big impact on how they do this season. But they aren't the only ones changing up their roster. Bee and Bomble from the Bumblebees have decided to step down this year and allow Stinger and Hive from the Hornets to join them. Ever since the two teams joined together, I was always wondering if they were actually going to mix members from both teams. And now that they've done it, it's going to be interesting to see how their teamwork is this season. And last up, on some non-JMR news, we have the Marble Invites. All of the teams have now been revealed, as well as the events that they will be competing in. This competition is going to be airing around the fall, just like JMR's Marble League, so we'll have plenty of competitions to entertain us. Well, that's all for the news. Thank you for listening. I'm Commander Wolf. You are the best fans in the world. Let's kick it on back with the podcast.
The news is over, and we have returned to the show. Thank you, News Voice, for being so informative. We have a special guest. We have a special guest today talking about a very special tournament that's going to be going on soon in the world of marble sports. And you may know this guest from around the community of marble sports. Pesky, they go by. Welcome to the show, Pesky.
What is up, my fellas?
It's great to have you.
Thank you.
It is wonderful to have you. And I'm excited to hear about how this tournament will play out. But we have to ask, in the usual
the age-old
unsynced way
question.
that we always do, the question we always ask first-time guests, and that is, Waf, come on,
Yes.
let's do it.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
How did you
get
into marble sports?
sports?
That wasn't that bad.
That's bad.
So I have
My-
quite an interesting story of how I got
Alright.
into it.
Oh, let's spill it
So
out.
back in the wee old days of 2016, just me scrolling through YouTube, looking at random content and marbles and stuff, and I find Marble League, and I'm just pretty much hooked immediately. And then it just kind of disappeared because of the channel deletion, and then
Oh, yeah.
I barely remember, but like early maybe 2020, I rediscovered it and just got full force into the community. And now I'm here.
That's awesome.
A lot of people had a similar story, just kind of floating around, and all of a sudden YouTube's like, watch this shit now, okay? And then we're like, all right, let's just see. And then we hear Greg's voice, and we're like, all right, we're in.
Yeah.
I mean, Greg
That's
really
usually
set
the part.
tone.
It's like you hear Greg's voice.
Greg
That's-
is a
yeah.
selling point.
It is, because it stood out from all the other, it made it engaging. It made it feel like a world that was already going on, that people were already interested in it. Because like every time you hear a commentator, you know that person's theirs because a lot of people want to hear about what's going on. So that's the vibe. That's the vibe that a commentator sets, because commentators are usually set for more serious things like actual sports. But so when you heard that in marbles, I was like, oh, this gives off a vibe that this is a established thing. It's really nice. But Pesky, yeah, you've come all this way. You're into the whole thing, and you've been here a while now. And then you doing what is this called? Marble Invites, right? This doing this tournament, running this tournament called Marble Invites. What is that? How did you come up with that? What is the structure of that? How does it work? Like, I mean, so many questions, but let's go through them one by one. Like, what
I can see
is
everybody having
Marble
questions.
Invites?
So, well, I've had this idea for a while of like trying to bring together the lower community of marble sports, that all the competitions that are like not too focused on, that are overshadowed by JMR. And I'm just like, you know what? I finally have time. Let's execute on this. So I just got together pretty much the best 16 competitions there are, and they're going to be sending 16 teams, well, sending in quotation marks, and they'll be competing in 8 events for the title of best team in the lower bracket of marble sports.
Now, how did you decide on these 16 channels? How did you choose whether a channel was worthy of being in this lower marble sports tournament or not?
Well, it really came down to like impression and like viewership. So like the main channels like Emperor's Marble League or Quadrilla Marble League, they're like pretty much immediately in there. But because there's not many leagues, I had to boil down to like the good, like very minor ones. So it just kind of became small pickings at the end. And we got to our final 16 just barely,
okay.
because there's barely enough to go around.
Just in the perfect number, though. And like, would you say there's a wide range? Like, is there a wide range from like the subs from the top channel in that group and the subs of the bottom channel? Same with like viewers.
I mean, the top channel is like around like maybe 500 subscribers, so not the biggest of range, but a decent range.
Wait, you said 3,500 or 500?
500.
Because
I think 30, say that again. 35.
500. 500.
okay.
Oh, okay. 500.
I don't know why it
okay.
was sounding like it was cutting out. He was just saying the number though, so I don't know. That was weird. So 500 tops and then lower. So I see. Okay. So it really is bringing together the lower end of the marble sports community. I guess even a channel like RML would kind of be far out of that at this point, though they don't really run the same type of tournaments.
Wait, the Lucky Titan has less than 500 subscribers?
It's more of a guesstimate. I don't know the actual subscriber count, but that's in the good range of subscribers because, yeah, there's not many big tournaments besides JMR.
Yeah, there really isn't. And then Fubica doesn't really do anything. We've beat that horse to death, but they don't really do anything organized, so or not much. But that being said, so each of these 16 channels, you said picked one team from their arsenal to send in. Was there any? Did they come up with new teams? How did they pick the team that they were going to send? Or was it just random? Like, how did you get the 16 teams from these 16 channels?
So it's more of like they were supposed to pick their best teams because it's like invitation of all the best teams from all the competitions. But there were a few that chose either for like reasons because they won a tournament and they got invitation, or simply random because maybe they use JMR teams in their competition, or they have individual. So we had I'm pretty sure 2 teams that are based off of individual marbles, and a few that were just like random pickings.
Cool,
okay.
Cool.
And then the rest of them being just the best team from the tournaments they run, you're saying?
Yeah.
Roughly. Yeah.
I guess, roughly, yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
See here. Well, I had some questions. I forgot what it was. I guess we can talk about the events because those were announced as well. Some pretty classic events. We got balancing, sprint, funnels, block pushing, relay, elimination, collision, and sand rally. So that's a very classic events we've seen in marble sports before.
You bet.
Right.
Yeah. So how did
the first season? We wanted to just do it all the basics, so just kind of like boil it down at the beginning, and then for future tournaments, we were gonna spice it up a little bit more, so the host has a little bit more choices.
Okay, cool. Gotcha. The other crazy thing so Minos Phylactos is part of this, and I gotta ask, how did that come about?
So it's a little bit of false advertising. A little bit of a hiccup. Originally, what was going to happen, this was like back in like March, like when we were just barely planning it. I asked him if he could like compose something for the tournament, but then after 5 months of nothing, because he started the new channel and the Patreon, and so it just became like it was way too expensive to do it, so we had to look for other options.
I see. That's a shame.
You started a Patreon to try to raise money for this particular tournament?
No,
he Patreon for the second channel for JMR that he started.
Yeah, the soundtrack channel, yeah.
But we do have somebody composing a song. Not that I don't know much so far, but we do have something in development.
Okay, that's good to know. It's a shame that Minos is going to be there, but still, having music composed for it, that's something that a lot of the smaller channels actually haven't done.
Because that's hard.
Actually, I don't even know if Fubica had original music composed. I think it was all stock music. So, that is definitely something to be impressed by. I'm very curious to see how it's all going to turn out there. That's for sure.
Yeah, so so let's talk about how these are going to be made. You have all these events listed out, you have your teams, you have it all kind of organized to where people are, and you have a good amount of people, I'll say, that are involved in anticipating this. The server's got it's 70 offline here, and then there's 30 online. So you got 100 people in the server that are all about the goings on, that are going to give it a watch at least. So you're going to get off the ground in that sense. You got your, like I said, you got your teams, you got your events, you got your participators, you got your music, hopefully there in the background. So how are you making these events? Is it going to be within your same home studio? Is it going to look very similar to your previous videos? What are these going to look like? Or are you going to try to really step up the quality as well because you're bringing everyone together?
I tried my best to like step it up a little bit more, so it looks a little bit cleaner than previous of my tournaments, but it's kind of the same as it used to be, but a little bit more like polished. So like most of these events are going to be indoor stadium events, but there will be at least one that will be a big outdoor event.
So how?
I'm assuming probably be Sand Rally.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that I'm gonna be excited just to see you make a sand rally. That's hard.
Yeah.
I do want to know. So, what are some like in detail? What are some things you have done to step up quality? What are things you have done to try to make it look more polished? Like, what kind of struck you as ways you could do that? And what are some things? And this is as important a question to me. What are some things you think are still like for you as a creator? And this kind of tangential to the whole tournament talk, but as you as a creator, what are some things that are big setbacks for you as far as like not being able to get to quality as good as JMR? And by that I mean like, is it really just like you don't have the studio, and if you did, you would be able to make JMR stuff, or is it also like some of the processes and editing and some of the actual building of the things that keep you from being able to reach that kind of quality? So talk about that a little bit.
There's a few. This main setback is really just money. It's like I don't have that much money, so I can't spend so much on like props and stuff. So it's as like good as I can do with all the makeshift I have, and I don't have much space either because there's so much you can have in a 4-person household.
Right.
So
True.
it really boils down to how much I can do with the spare time I have.
I see. And yeah, those the setbacks of time and money are big ones. And like, where are you making this right now? Is it like your garage or something at your home, or?
It's in my basement because I don't have my garage is messier than my room, and that is a very large statement because my room is very messy.
Yeah.
Wow.
I see. No, I know what you mean. My garage is pretty packed back at the old home we used to have. So yeah, and I get that, and I just always think about that because as much as we would love every Marble channel to be JMR, I mean, like, it's hard. It's a lot of time and a lot of money that you need to even be able to do that. Like, if some of these channels may have the capability within their own individual skill sets to make something as good as JMR, but they just don't have the time or the money to put that on. And if they had those resources, they could easily do so. But yeah, so for these events, being not having all the equipment you might want, I mean, how are you planning on making some of these events? So I'd have to see if I can look at the list here again. Like balancing, we know how JMR does balancing. How are you doing balancing?
So I actually sent Wolf a video before this of a pretty like a before balance, like it was behind the scenes, and basically I have a wooden, like a 6-foot long wooden board, and what I've done is I laid that out and I used a paper towel, like the cardboard part I took in half, and then I made it so I could tie a string to a popsicle stick and have like a automatic gate where my hand doesn't have to show.
Yeah, which is good. And see that, and that's a big thing right there. Just keeping your hands out of the filming. That's a small thing that makes a big difference. If you post this and I see hands, I'm like, hands, right? So that's good. No, and that's something that Marble Sports fans are going to see. So that's smart that you're taking that out. And so you're going to have a similar type balance beam. Are you going to score it similarly? Like, how are you planning on scoring it? Is it like
JMR, it will be in centimeters.
Yeah. Okay. So, not changing. I mean, I guess you can't really change too much because it is balancing. It kind of is self-explanatory, but I guess if you wanted to, you could go out of the box with it. But the simplicity event is fun. Something like Collision, all right, which is on there now. What are you thinking there? How is Collision and Marble Invites going to be? How is it going to be different from JMR?
So it's most likely going to be a combination of fidget spinner Collision without the fidget spinners, and like as like a few other minor competitions have done, just a wooden board with some obstacles using like Jenga blocks or dominoes. So
Let's see. Okay.
basically they'll probably enter on Skyrail just to like have it so my hands
Which
aren't
makes sense,
showing.
yeah. No, yeah.
Gotcha.
No, yeah. And with the not being able to have an automatic starting gate, yeah, you have to keep that in mind for most of the events. Though the Skyrail entrance and some of the classic collisions from JMR, I really enjoyed those a lot. So you can't go wrong there.
True.
But yeah, so like in most of these events, and you have 8 listed here, are you going to be for all intents and purposes quite similar to JMR and just kind of trying to build it yourself basically, or is there any you're going to go really far out of the box for?
There will be a few like relay and sprint. They will be like kind of similar, but not very. It's kind of like if you've seen makeshift Marble Olympics, I'm gonna do the relay like that. They're not gonna be like perfect starting gates, but they're gonna be pretty good.
How is that for makeshift? I haven't seen this.
Basically, they use Legos, and instead of like the baton part, they just have a 2x2 brick and then a 2x4 slab, and they have the marble sitting on it, and it just goes full force and it rolls off.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
All right.
So I see. I mean, yeah, I think this could turn out well. I just like. I wonder how it will be received, or if it will be received any differently, I guess is what I'm saying, than any of the other tournaments that are usually just created by a lower channel, right? And like, I'm like, you know what I mean, Waf? Like, there's a lot of these channels all create their own tournaments. They're all similar in quality, I guess, and they're received fine. They're received more by people who really love watching marbles of all kinds. And then all of them are now coming together, and all 16 of them, and they're making their own big thing all together. Now, do you think that's going to like be more received, like more views, more attention, more excitement in general from the community and its surrounding? Now that they've come together to do something together, or you think it's going to get the same kind of reception as they do all singularly? It's a question for Pesky too, because, well, I guess it's something to think about as someone who's running the channel with goals like this. But, Waf, Pesky.
Yeah. That is actually a question. Like, to answer that question first, I need to ask Pesky, is this going to be like its own separate channel, or is this going to be uploaded to your channel?
So the plan is to get it out of the gate, like to get it rolling. We're gonna upload it on the Pesky Marble Championship channel, and then
like marbles do the rolling. Isn't that hilarious?
But then for future seasons, we will be uploading on a central channel.
Okay, so that in that case, like that makes a lot of sense. Like using a pre-established fan base, that makes a lot of sense. In that case, I think it has a good potential to really, to get a really good following out of the gate. Because like again, like you are bringing fans from all of these all 16 of these competitions together. Mm-hmm. Not all of them are gonna come over, obviously, but there's gonna be like maybe 20%.
Yeah, I'm sure each of the channels will at least mention it in their like videos. Like, hey, go check this out. The blah 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 team is there or whatever. Or I was in it
And by uploading it to like you said like to like one of the current channels, like they have a fan base already, so like that's gonna be put in their notifications right out the gate. So like that's gonna get people to understand, okay, this is what this competition's about. And like looking at this first video, it's honestly roughly around like 2016 Marble League quality. So
wait, where is this first video?
Oh, it was sent in a private message, like because like, it's like behind the scenes.
Marble, please. I would actually like to see
can I send it, Pesky?
Yeah, sure.
To him.
I think it's extremely important. I won't show it on the.
Consider it a sneak peek.
All right, so there you go. It's in your. But like, it's roughly like kind of like what 2016 was like in its quality. So honestly, starting off with that, and you know like being early on in quality.
I'm watching it. Okay.
I think it has the potential, to become something big. And
does it?
You and I, Brendan, like we've talked about in the past, like how we wanted like people to be able to send in like marbles, like to actually be like a real Olympics where marbles from multiple different competitions across the world come together. And while they're not literally being sent this time around, because it's a logistical issue as well as a costly one for these smaller channels to try and mail these things across the world, it is still like the concept behind it is a lot of like what we have been wanting for a really long time, and
Yeah.
if it grows long enough, it could potentially be like the actual true Marble Olympics that we've always wanted, because it's actually literally marbles from across the world from multiple different competitions all competing together rather than just JMR's marbles.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the basic premise of it.
Listen, and I'm gonna talk about a few things, and I'm not gonna talk too much about this video because again, it's a sneak peek, not for everybody, I guess. But number one, get the chair out of the shot and get the bench out of the shot. I don't know what you have to do that, but move them. They shouldn't be in the shot. You know what I'm saying?
They were moved.
You take, say again.
They were moved in the filming.
They were removed. Good. Okay, so you at least understood to do that, and this was just more of an example. Because if you can keep it as empty as possible around the action, then you're already going to step up the quality. I'll be honest, Waf, this to me looks like if JMR made a 2015 Marble League. Does that make sense? Like just shy. It's definitely shy.
Oh, you know what? That's right. They had their 2015 videos. That is, it's more I would say it's more similar to that,
like
but better camera quality. Better camera quality though.
Yes, to some degree.
Just because it's been 7 years since their first video, so naturally camera quality has improved since then.
Few things I'd be careful of. Number one, of course, and you said you did this. Get all those things out of the shot, all those chairs and whatever. Number two, like I can see taping down that black thing, which I know is probably unavoidable, but maybe like try to see if you can end up putting that like underneath the wood or something, just to kind of get the stuff out of the shot. You want to keep it looking as clean as possible. You could even double side the tape and put it underneath or something. But that stuff, it does look pretty good. When I've seen a lot worse, and it does look good. It's not RML or JMR yet, but they've obviously been going. I guess RML started pretty strong, so they're not even like season 1 RML, but it seems like early JMR, so it has like a sense of quality, especially in the camera, which is not bad. I would say definitely be aware to, at some point, like in the post editing, like really play around with those color correction stuff and the camera stuff, because just see if you can make it so that the marbles really pop out. Because one of the things I think bothers me most about all marble sports, and which is why I notice it a lot more in the lower quality channels, is that sometimes it's really, because the marbles are small and the cameras are sometimes kind of further away, sometimes it's really hard to direct focus and really tell what's going on with the marbles as compared to everything else. Sometimes I can get lost in all the visuals. So maybe some kind of color correction or something just to kind of bring the marbles out, like so they really pop off the screen. I mean, I don't really understand how all that stuff works, but I'm sure some adjustments like could help that. But I mean, other than that, I mean, it doesn't look that bad. It looked better than I thought it was going to look, though it's good. So, I mean, I'm willing to give this one a shot. I'm willing to cover this, right? I'm willing to, because and Waf's right. I did say way back, we're talking way back. Like, we're talking before episode 50. I went on and on how I would love this kind of everyone submitting their teams across the world, because this was kind of bouncing off the fan team competition, and in this feeder league kind of vibe. And when I went on about feeder leagues for about 7 episodes and Waf got sick of it, this was kind of the base idea. Have all these little channels come together and like do something like this. So I was some support of this idea. I was thinking about and talking about this a lot earlier on in the world of JMR. JMR, of course, being very useless in some of their decisions, had no wise thoughts in trying to pull something like this off. Imagine if JMR sponsored this, then you'd have a lot more. You'd have a lot of great things going on there. But otherwise, like, I'm in support of an idea like this. I think it's cool, and I think it's time for small channels to start trying to doing things ourselves, because it seems like in some degree we can't rely on JMR anymore to really be the true vanguard to put marble sports out of just its own corner of YouTube. So I'm in support. I'm willing to give it a shot. Right? I'm going to cover it. I would be willing to cover this basically into the same degree I cover RML. Right? A little bit, like enough where we do talk about it, enough where we do talk about design and everything. I maybe will not. Like, what is one of the teams? Surging Storm? I maybe will not have a whole episode where I yell about the Surging Storm the way I yell about Rapidly, But
trust me, I've yelled about them for way too long. They give me nightmares. They're annoying.
But I will give it a shot because I think it's a good idea. So you have my word on that. But I mean, yeah, this sneak peek video is pretty good, and like, I mean, I don't know, I'm excited. I think you're right, Love. Let's give it a chance.
All right, wow, getting Brendan on board with something like
It's
this.
hard.
That's an accomplishment.
But you're right.
That's
You
an
pointed out
accomplishment.
that I did talk about this. I did speak of this way back in the day, that this should be what we're doing. And we're doing it. And this person right here really went out to organize for this and did a wonderful job. And it might be good. So we'll give it a shot, you know. And also, I'm getting tired of JMR and their lack of organization. So maybe Pesky will do better.
Trying to do my best to bring out the community that does not get as much focus.
What do you think? What do you think is going to happen? Do you have expectations? Do you have goals you want to hit as far as views, as far as attention compared to what you guys usually as channels get? Do you have plans for what you're going to do if this fails or succeeds or coming seasons? Like, what is your forward thinking on this? What is your future thinking in regards to how this will turn out and where it's going?
So hopefully it gets a good reception, and our plan is to every year we do the competition, but with a different host. So next year you might see a different channel host it, and then
Interesting.
on and on.
Interesting.
Okay.
Interesting.
That'd be cool. Yeah, like an idea I had at one point is like when I first thought that people were actually literally mailing their marbles in. The idea I had in my head is like, wait a minute, what if what happens like each event was hosted on someone else's channel? And it's like you would, or at least it was recorded on someone else's like place. Like they would mail a like the marbles to one person to make this specific event.
There
And,
was
like
so
each
much
event
mailing.
would have like. I know it'd be too costly. It'd be too expensive. But like imagine if someday that was actually a possibility. Like the marbles are literally traveling all around the world to compete in this.
Actually, though, I mean, I
There
guess
was
like,
talk about that.
I guess it's not the worst type. Too much mailing, because then like once they're all in one place, then you just mail them all together.
But like country borders and customs, some can cost more, and it can take a while too, depending on which country you're mailing to and
Right.
from.
So you would have had to plan this for January to then be released in November, or like released
Probably.
in August. You know what I'm saying? Which would be cool. But then like, you know, something happens with one of the people in the 16, then it all goes to hell. So
Right,
you
exactly,
have to
true.
be careful. It's kind of I don't know. Like if all these channels were all way more established, then that would be bananas and awesome. But that might be a long time from now off.
True. But that's the great part about it. Like we're starting small, and like as long as you take these steps to build and build, someday maybe you could do something that crazy. Like I don't think none of us thought the JMR would be as big as it is today, but like as time progressed, slowly but surely they got better and better, and they got more and more recognized, and now they're the biggest in the whole entire Marvel world.
I think that if I future think here, and I always have to future think, that's just who I am. Obviously, at some point, there's going to need to be some sort of at least one of the 16 that like considerably commits to stepping up the quality to really try to JMRify it. But I can see it more. This is what I'm trying to say. It's more likely by a large margin that doing this tournament with everyone coming together as 16 channels together, someone will commit to being of higher quality, even more than one channel committing to trying to JMRify their quality on their channel for this 16 channel tournament together. More chance of that than if they were all if they're all still continuing by themselves, trying to just make it by themselves. Because when you're together, then and you have these more established connections, and it's not just you at home by yourself trying to decide whether it's worth it or not, and you feel like you're really doing it not just by yourself but with others, then like quality can increase a lot easier, a lot quicker, and just like people will just be more motivated to think of own ways to increase their quality without even spending that much more money because they'll have that commitment to other people. So I am really confident that this will have at least somewhat of a positive impact on the community of the smaller channels, and could really, if one or two step forward as really strong and committed, this could really go somewhere. You know what I mean? Do you understand? You understand that?
Yeah.
So I think this is wonderful. Do you want to hear Edu's email, because he wrote in about this? I didn't hear what you said, Waf. Waf. No, look how you said something.
Yeah, you look like you said.
Oh, my interface was muted again.
You're bad. You're so bad, Waf.
I'm professional voice actor over here. I totally know what I'm doing. Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna read this email, and I'm gonna let Pesky respond to this, and then we'll respond to this. See what he has to say. So Edu writes in. He says, the biggest crossover in marble sports yet. One thing I noticed from the marble racing landscape was when I was new to the community is that it was composed of many individual players just minding their own business, enclosed in separate worlds and rarely interacting between themselves. From looking at the constant movement of diecast racing creators to build venues and organize tournaments, I always thought to myself, what marble racers can learn from them to make a more cooperative environment and to grow the hobby as a whole. Fair enough. The diecast community also has its problems, but I guess for another time. It took a while, but the segment grew. A new wave of channels arrived. The community has turned into a more open to alternative content sources, and this push of creators who look to help each other eventually led to this world tournament that unites 16 different series called the Marble Invites. Yes, that's what we're talking about right now, I do. Thank you. I guess you didn't know if we were going to talk about this. I appreciate everybody involved in this project for making it happen, because this is sort of a dream for me and many others. I follow many of the participant leagues, and while they are limited in resources compared to a reference like JMR, they do great with what they have and present enjoyable formats and quality. Not mainstream material, but level with ML 2016, which is also basically homemade. Take a look at the teams. You may have seen some of them in Marble Earth texts.
That's true.
So yeah, no, I mean, nothing super controversial in what he said, but Pesky, is that about how you would sum it up?
Pretty much around. We do have 3 teams that are actually in JMR lore, so.
Which ones?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, make that 4. We got the Valiant Vanillas. One of their members is part of the Gliding Glaciers. The Silver Leeches are in the Fruit Circuit.
Oh yeah.
The Blood Moons are in the Stardust Classic, as well as the Stargazers.
Okay, cool. Oh yeah, I remember reading some of those names, like from the. I think all of them have been in retrospectives that we've read before. That's cool.
I do like that.
I like that.
I like how there's a connection there. Like, if JMR or if Marble Sports ever grows enough that anyone ever really pays attention to all of the extra lore, then those connections are going to mean big things. Think about that. I mean, like, if one of the members from the Gliding Glaciers was or is on this other team, I mean, that's going to have big implications if the lore suddenly matters because Marble Sports is bigger. Does that make sense? Like, that's going to be big. We're preparing for the right stuff here. That's really good. I mean, I think Adu summed it up best way you could. I mean, it's really a good push from the engaged members of the Marble Sports community who want to try to push things along in the world of Marble Sports and realize that JMR is kind of going to be moving at their own hackneyed pace. Really kind of looks like the stock market, the way they pace things out, you know, just up and down, and we don't really know where they're going. And they might shoot up and take over the world, or they might shoot down and crash. We don't know. So this is good. This is a good start. This is a good start to get started elsewhere. And a little bit different from the vibe of how RML got their start, where this guy was like, this is just me, and I'm doing my thing, and he has his own people, and has his own thing, and he's doing great, but it's a different kind of thing. It's bringing kind of the people who are much more engaged in JMR, but also have their own channels to the field. It's good.
Yeah, you can give spotlight to people who haven't really gotten it much. And so I think it'd be kind of cool to see if the community growing to, like, as Adu likes to compare, like maybe like the size of the diecast community someday. I think that would be kind of interesting.
I think I don't know which community is bigger, but I think diecast might be a little bigger in general, at least overall with more channels. So yeah, that's true. And maybe we might get there. We might if the quality continues to increase. So this is good. And Pesky, I have to ask this. So you're gonna have commentary, right? You're gonna have someone do this?
Yes, and we've made gone through and decided we're gonna do Spenny from the Born Networks Marvel Championship. He's going to be doing the commentary for these.
Wait, who? Sorry,
events.
You cut out.
Well, the commentator will be Spenny from the Born Network Marvel Championship.
Oh, okay, cool. I haven't heard of him, so I don't know.
I remember Spenny's name. I have not. I think I've seen a Born Network video once before. I need to go see. But I think I've heard. I do know Spenny is a member of the community. I've heard before.
I wouldn't
His
say no
voice
to
is like
guesting
the
on one of
best.
these two. This would be. I wouldn't mind. Obviously, I've been in the commentary game for a long time, so it would be fun if there's a spot. But I guess it does really make a lot more sense to have someone who's part of one of these channels actually do that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I was literally about to say. Having it made all by small creators together makes the most sense, I would say.
Yeah, it would kind of be. It would. Yeah. It would, yeah. Because it also would make a lot of sense if Greg Woods came in and did the commentary for this. At this
Right.
point.
That would be so strange.
Yeah. Like, hey guys. I'm Greg Woods, and then I kind of have the same intro to my commentary. Hey everybody, I'm Brendan. So it's kind of stupid, but no, yeah, I think it's for the best. I'm excited. I'm hoping he's good because engaging commentary really makes for a video. So I'm hoping for the best. We'll see. I mean, no one's Greg, but people can be close.
His voice was by far the best out of any videos, so we decided to go with something that wouldn't draw people away and just clean and a good voice that people will be engaged to.
Cool.
Awesome. I'm glad you guys thought
Look
that
forward
out.
to it.
All those parts. Well, I mean, all I can say is good luck, man. There's a lot going on here, and this is something I feel like we're going to have episodes that we tangent into a lot because I'm going to want to keep tabs on this. I'm going to want to see where it's going and talk about how much I like the quality and things like that. So, man, we do wish you the best on this, truthfully. You have the MSW support.
Thank you.
Indeed you do.
As you move through, and we might even have you back on at the end of the whole ordeal, see how you feel about it, or
That's a good idea.
What might happen. But yeah, anything else
Sounds
you'd like
nice.
to mention regarding it?
Not much. I think pretty much covered everything.
All right, then. Looking at the time set, I think it'd probably be a good idea to wrap it up here, I would say,
Yeah, we could push into the wolf pack, but I feel like, we have other episodes for that because we don't know when in
true.
autumn JMR is going to be like, okay, fine, here's JMR. We don't know. And the news will shove in here. This one might fall just shy of an hour. Let's see how the news is.
We'll see.
But then we add the
There's
music
a lot to
intro.
discuss in the news.
Yeah, and then you have to put the music intros and the outros and everything, so this probably hit an hour. But all that being said, this was great. Hey, Pesky, thanks for coming on, man. We love.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Hearing from you, and again, I mean, guys, check this stuff out. Be excited for this tournament, anticipate it, and watch it, because this could be a new future for the world of Marvel Sports, and we need that right now. We really need something new that's gonna be consistent and be awesome and be annual. Because we don't know what JMR is doing, man. Just don't.
We don't know. If you want to check them out, I'll put a link for the Discord for Marvel Invites in the description. I'll send one to you, Brendan, too, so you can put it on the other descriptions as well.
Yeah, for sure. And we'll kind of have it there for a while, but that'll do it. So, Waf, when you're ready, take us out. And again, Pesky, thank you so much. And
Thank you for having me.
we'll see how this rolls.
Indeed, we will. And with that, I shall say, roll on, Marvel Sports fans.